Thank you all so much for stopping by. Um, the topic of this channeling is gravitating to sacred sites and the changing ley lines. This is the channeling I have for you today. The rumblings of the earth, the water, the waters of the earth are identifying areas that hold noticeable energy. The rumblings are not to destroy this time. It is to recognize that the earth realm is a dynamic space that is adjusting, just as the physical body is adjusting. The physical earth realm makes adjustments before the humanity is encouraged to make changes through adjusting. So basically, the earth makes the change, and then it encourages us as physical beings. It encourages us to make the same adjustments. So there, the earth is the leading edge, the water is, the movements of the earth, start telling us this, but the earth makes the change, and then we adjust as well. I'm going to continue the channeling. To ease your way into the changes, look at where the earth rumbles. How intense is the rumble, and how long the rumble lasts? Look at where the waters are making themselves known: rivers, oceans, seas, lakes, ponds. This is your keystone mapping. You are shown what to expect. Something that just came to my head when I was reading Rivers, Ocean, Seas. It's not just the movement of there, it's the activity on it. It's the activity, let's say the ships on a sea, the ships on an ocean, the boats on a river, activities around lakes and ponds. That is, we need to consider. That is something that just came into my thoughts that we also need to consider. It's not just the movement, it's not just, oh, let's say an earthquake or something like that. It's the activities also on the bodies of water. I'm going to continue the channeling. The typically understood locations that have a reputation as sacred are too being adjusted. They're also being adjusted. They are indeed changing, slowly but surely. The change is you no longer need to search far and wide to find or get to what have been identified as sacred sites and powerful ley lines. Searching far and wide is a dominance era tactic. Searching far and wide taught you the process of seeking knowledge. Once you know the process of seeking knowledge in a physical way, you were to use that understanding and process to seek knowledge from within. Instead, you learned that the process is difficult. You learned that if you were unable to get to a sacred site, you learned that you were not capable, that you were abandoned, that you were not worthy, not spiritual enough to attain knowledge. Again, a dominance era tactic, a tactic that pits one against another, sets up a hierarchy that creates a reliance on others to tell you, making a wreck out of people. It makes people unstable, making the people yearn for that experience, because only through that experience can you learn, enlighten, and establish wisdom. That has been the narrative developed and the precepts that are adjusting. The energy is changing. You are all. You are individual. You are one with all. You are the jewel that emanates all light, all knowledge. You have access to the sacred. It is in all things. It is in you. Yet you do desire to find or have a location where you can have or where you can go that is physical. This is reasonable. We say to you, listen, observe the earth realm and find out where it rumbles and where the waters flow, bubble, and spout. What you search for is in all places. It is only your satisfaction of location that is required. You can find it everywhere. You can travel great distances if this activity appeals to you. You can be satisfied by water flowing through a tub or a hose, water flowing as a fountain. Break through the structural, mechanical illusion and see the energy. It is not the fountain. It is not the sacred site. It is the energy that those things represent that we ask you to see. Your learning was mechanical. Your future time is energy translation. Give birth to what lies beyond the physical. Thus, you experience the future. Wow, that's where it ended. That is where it ended. I guess it's really important that anyone who hears this message who has felt like they weren't learning enough, weren't being able to go to any of, let's say, the sacred sites or the ley lines, anybody who's never really been able to have the opportunity to experience that kind of thing, but others with big voices have been able to do that and make you feel like you just will never be able to get as spiritual as that other person because you didn't get to do those same things. They're telling us we learned about sacred sites. They're very important, but they're not. They're saying that it's not necessary to actually have to physically go there. And it's changing. So we have felt inadequate most of our time because we're searching for something. We're like, well, gee, they got to go to um, a sacred site or the ley lines that are very powerful, but it making us feel inadequate, those who didn't get to do it. And they're telling us now that it's okay. You shouldn't have felt that. We should not have felt that way. We shouldn't have felt inadequate because we should have been learning. We should have, through that process, we should have learned that we seek knowledge from within because it's all within us. It's very complicated because that's not how we necessarily think, but they're telling us that it's changing, that the energy in the, what have been called sacred sites. They're called sacred sites because somebody decided to call them sacred sites. They're saying that any place that you decide to call a sacred site, because we do crave that. We do want some place to go physical. That's physical. What if they said that? We do want to go someplace that is a physical place that we can call a sacred site. But who can go over to Europe or Egypt, or the center of Guatemala or the Yucatan Peninsula? I mean, we can't necessarily go those places. They're saying that it is us that satisfies our own place that is sacred. And we have to break through the structural mechanical illusion. that it has to be one place, not your place. It has to be someplace else, not your place, not what you've decided to be a sacred spot, because there's energy every place. There's stronger energies, ley lines are definitely stronger places. There's stronger places, sacred sites. I've been to a couple. I've been to Sedona and I did not feel it was sacred. I've been to Oahu and I had an incredible experience. And it absolutely was a very powerful spot. So, and then I find the land that I'm living on now is incredibly sacred to me. It's very powerful to me. I think other people who walk on this quiet, raw land can feel the same way, but it's mine. It's where I am. And that is what makes my life powerful in my own way. Because after I read this, I think luckily I have found my little spot. Okay. That's what we all have to do. They said if it's a tub, I know I'm carrying on. If it's a tub, like they say, if it's a bathtub, if it's a hose, or if it's a fountain, or if it's a tree that you walk by or see every day, if it's a tree in your apartment, in your home, in your house, it's your sacred spot because it makes you, because you believe it is. I don't know if I made any sense, but it is really important that we all move away from the dominance era. Established thinking that we're not worthy or that we don't have enough. We didn't get to go someplace because we all have our own spiritual spot. Okay, that we or go someplace if you can. Nothing's holding you down. But if you can't go, know that you create your own harmony in your own love and comfort spot. I think that's it. Thank you for stopping in. And please stay tuned because there is a lot more to come.